It's late in your shift and you're exhausted. You've been on your feet for 7 hours. It's been one of those days. Just then you see a person in a restricted baggage makeup area without a SIDA badge. Now they look harmless enough, even strangely familiar. They smile, you nod. You think there must be a good reason that he has no SIDA badge, or maybe a bad one. What do?
In the wake of the tragic events of September 11, your eyes and ears as an airport employee or vendor have never been more critical, and your alertness and attention have never mattered more.
This security training video is about how we control access to our airport.
Understanding security controls at Norfolk International Airport, the way we restrict access to unauthorized people, is essential to your job and to our security. A few minutes of your time is all it will take.
What I'm about to talk about is highly sensitive security information. That means you can't talk about it off the job. Not at a supermarket, not at a social gathering with friends, not even at a family picnic. Why? Because it is exactly the kind of information that a terrorist or other criminal would love to have. Let's begin. There are 2 things you must bring to work each day: your security identification display area or SIDA badge, and your common sense.
Everyone who works at Norfolk International Airport is issued a SIDA badge. At all times, you must wear this badge above your waist and below your neck on your outermost garment.
Why does that matter? Because if everyone does it, those who don't will stand out.
Your SIDA badge is also an access card. An embedded computer chip identifies you as the user and works only on the doors and gates that your job requires. Just wave it in front of the card reader and enter your personal code on the keypad. So what if you're being forced to open a security door or gate against your will? What if there's a medical emergency? What if the door or gate won't close and secure? What if you hear calls for help? SIDA card readers have a built-in, easy-to-use duress feature to alert airport police during such emergencies. Just wave your badge in front of the card reader, but when you enter your personal code, increase the last number by 1.
In other words, if your personal code is 1234, just punch in 1235. Police will be dispatched to the door or gate. Unless you are forced to leave against your will, you must stay at the door or gate until the police officer makes direct contact with you.
There are 4 simple common sense rules when it comes to using your SIDA badge and your access. Display your SIDA badge properly, above the waist, below the neck, and on your outermost garment. Do not tailgate or piggyback at card reader doors or gates. 1 person per badge, no exceptions, period. Challenge anyone not wearing a proper SIDA badge. Report suspicious activities to the police by calling 857-3344. September 11, 2001 exposed the weakness in passenger screening. As a result, security measures have been tightened dramatically. It is now much harder to get weapons through passenger and baggage screening. It is a good bet, however, that future attacks will involve getting weapons onto an aircraft some other way. That's why the access control measures at the airport are so rigorous, and why you are expected to know them, execute them, and respect them.
Allow someone access to an aircraft and they could plant an explosive device, or even hide weapons for an accomplice to find in flight. Or they might try to gain access to an employee instead.
Hey, excuse me. I need to get this box for my grandmother.
The box seems small enough. So is the payoff. How harmful could this be? Very.
No matter what job you perform at the airport, you should consider yourself part of the eyes and ears of the airport security. Follow a few simple rules, and we can keep the airport and each other safe and secure.
The United States Transportation Security Administration requires that airports like Norfolk International restrict access by unauthorized persons and vehicles. Many areas of the airport remain off limits to the general public and are accessible only with proper authorization and a SIDA badge. The Airport Police Department issues a range of different SIDA badges to airport employees, contractors, and visitors.
Now, depending on your job requirements, your identification badge may grant you access to these restricted security control areas in order to do your job. Security control areas include sterile boarding areas beyond the passenger screening checkpoint. These areas are restricted to screened, ticketed passengers and screened authorized SITA badge holders. The entire aircraft parking ramp surrounding the two concourses. This area is bordered by the departures terminal, taxiway C, and the ends of the concrete parking apron. The baggage makeup area on the ground level of the departures terminal. The service delivery area between the baggage makeup area and the aircraft parking ramp serving the two concourses. The underground baggage delivery area of the arrivals terminal and its tug path. The aircraft operations area, and security identification display areas, or SITA, which include the entire airfield except for the general aviation ramp. Federal law requires a fingerprint-based FBI criminal history records check before SITA badges are issued by the Airport Police Department. Anytime you are within a SITA area, you must display your ID above your waist and below your neck on your outermost garment. SITA media is defined as an identification badge, computer card, cipher code, FAA issued Form 8000-39, in conjunction with FAA Form 110A or other form of authority.
Depending on where your job requires you to be, the Airport Police Department will issue either a green or red SITA badge.
Green SITA badges are non-restricted and give you unescorted access to just about anywhere, including SITA, air operations, and baggage areas. They also allow you to be screened to enter passenger boarding areas. Green SITA badges include either a photograph, a large letter V to signify a visitor, or a large letter C to signify a contractor. Red SITA badges are restricted and limit your access authority. Red SITA badges are valid in the baggage makeup and delivery areas, service delivery areas, and passenger boarding areas with proper screening. Red SITA badges include a photograph or a large letter V to signify a visitor. Red ID holders must be continually escorted in all other areas. If you are escorting someone, you must remain with the person under your escort at all times, be able to control his or her movement, and take action if that person attempts to stray off. Escort does not mean that you can show friends and family where you work. Escorting is strictly for people with a business-related need to be in the SITA.
No matter which color badge you're issued, the standards are the same.
Your fingerprints have been cleared by the FBI with the finding that you have not been convicted of any of 28 disqualifying crimes listed on your job application within the last decade. If you are convicted of one of those 28 crimes while you are employed at Norfolk International Airport, you must tell us promptly.
There are two other kinds of IDs worth mentioning.
Airline-issued IDs are for on-duty uniformed crew and flight attendants only. These IDs are valid only between their operations office and their assigned aircraft. Airline-issued IDs do not authorize access to any other portions of the secured area, the SITA, or the air operations area. FAA Flight Standards Aviation Safety Inspector IDs, FAA Form 110A, are issued to check ride inspectors on duty in Norfolk less than 24 hours. If they will be here more than 24 hours, they need a Norfolk-issued ID. FAA Form 110A IDs authorize access to the secured area, the SITA, and the aircraft operations area.
Most employers consider your ability to keep and maintain your SITA badge as a part of your job requirements. Keep your SITA badge secure, and you'll keep your job, the airport, and the nation secure. No pressure. Now, your SITA badge can be confiscated, suspended, or even revoked if you are found misusing it, loaning it out to others, tailgating, or piggybacking through a card reader door or gate, or any of the other actions that are prohibited. Now, the moral of the story is this: take care of your SITA badge. Protect it. Don't loan it out to anyone, ever. Now, we understand. Things happen.
If you lose your SITA badge, or it is stolen, if it becomes damaged in the laundry, or even if your dog eats it, it is your responsibility to call the airport police immediately, day or night, 365 days a year, at 857-3344. The police can electronically disable it within seconds. Replacing a lost or damaged badge may result in a substantial replacement fee.
The airport periodically audits the issuance and use of SITA badges and may spot check to see if the SITA badge you're wearing was actually issued to you. If that happens, or if you're challenged by another airport employee, don't become defensive. Just cooperate. And one last thing.
If you find a door or gate that is not securing properly, you must report it to airport police at 857-3344 and stand by the door or gate to control access until a police officer, a maintenance person, or some other authorized person relieves you.
You've heard a lot today about identifying people, but what about vehicles?
Only support and service vehicles and vehicles with secure permission from the airport manager are permitted in security identification display areas. Vehicles that require regular SITA access may be assigned a SITA badge number, which must be displayed according to regulation. Completion of an airport driver training program is required before anyone is permitted to drive in restricted areas at the airport. It is critical that authorized drivers respect and adhere to designated non-movement areas at the airport. Vehicles that belong to airlines, tenants, or contractors must display permanent markings such as company logo designs, decals, or insignias. Non-airport emergency, service and delivery vehicles must be escorted at all times by either an airport police officer or other authorized personnel.
If you are the escort, you assume responsibility for the vehicle and its inhabitants. You've heard a lot of information here today, so let's review your main security responsibilities.
Always display your SITA badge above the waist and below the neck on your outermost garment at all times while you are in a security identification display area. Close doors and gates securely behind you. In other words, control them. Never let anyone piggyback or tailgate behind you. One at a time through card reader gates, period. Challenge anyone in the SITA who is not displaying a proper SITA badge, which is the answer to the scenario at the beginning of this video.
Your instincts told you something wasn't right about the person you saw without a SITA badge in a secured area. So trust your instincts.
Simply ask the person in a non-confrontational way, "Where's your SITA badge?" Check to see that the person is authorized to be there. If he or she is not, escort the person into a public area of the airport. If you are uneasy about approaching a person or unsure of their authorization, call your supervisor or the police at 857-3344. SITA card readers have a built-in, easy-to-use duress feature to alert airport police during such emergencies. Just wave your badge in front of the card reader, but when you enter your personal code, increase the last number by 1.
Well, that's about it. Now remember, receiving SITA clearance is a privilege. Keeping a safe and secure airport begins with you. Thanks for your attention and your dedication to keeping Norfolk International Airport safe and secure.